Hi everyone, this is Mickey Adams in Dallas, Texas. I'm a dealer and a representative for Mullen pedal steel guitars out of Seabrook, Colorado, and I'd like to thank you very much for joining me on my YouTube channel. In this lesson, I would like to touch on the relationships between major, minor, and pentatonic scales. And the idea for this lesson came from a seminar that I did in Sweden last week. I thought that this particular module was very well received because of the contrast that's created between these two scales. And so I'll get right into the differences, and hopefully you'll gain something from this and be able to use this at your E9 pedal steel guitar. And starting with a guitar, of course, a pentatonic scale has 5 notes. Now, a lot of us, when we learn how to play guitar, one of the first things we learn is a pentatonic scale. And in rock and roll music, the advent of the usage of a minor third over a major chord was horrifying to a lot of real professional musicians, such as orchestra players. They'd never heard of such a thing. Total dissonance, major third and minor third. Well, in reality, the 9+ chord is exactly that. It's a major third and a minor third in the same chord. Here's D7, here's the major third, here's D9+, and this is a minor third. So these are, they're only a half step apart, but they're an octave apart. Okay? So this is what the pentatonic scale implies over a major chord. Now, this is G major, but let's listen to the pentatonic scale over B flat. Using the B flat as the root and not the G, we can play the same pentatonic pattern as G and play in a major mode over B flat. Now, Dickie Betts was a master at this. He played almost everything these are all the same scales. Now, here's where the contrast comes in. If we look at a B flat major, and it's in the pentatonic scale for a G, using G as the root, we get basically, we're not playing a major third, so we're playing a minor third, so we're actually implying G minor. And G minor is the relative 6 to B flat. There's where the relation comes in. Now what I'm getting at is this. If we're in the key of G, and we start playing G minor, over G major, now we get a real contrast. And we can do this with our pedal steel guitar, and it's really simple. Because from one of our straight major positions, we just move up 3 frets and play in a minor mode, and it gives us a real contrast for our solo. So let me demonstrate. First, let's go back and review a couple of the primary positions for major and minor moves. And what we're going to use is the crossover exercise as a basis, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you'll go back in my catalog and look for the crossover move, this is one that we're going to need for this pattern. Because the major and minor scales are so closely related, they have a lot of the same intervals. We can tie them together closely on the fretboard. Let's look at a G major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and these are the notes in the scale path. Now let's look at the minor. Now look, we've only moved within 2 frets of our root position, which in this case is G, and we've played G and G minor. From our G position here at 10, we can move up and use the E lever, and we wind up with a G minor, or we can move up to a whole minor third with the same A and B pedals and play B flat. But now the root falls on string number 7, which is the G. pentatonic. This is straight major. Now I'm just using some simple phrases, but the fact is that once we find the patterns, I mean, the sky's the limit for you guys. Now you can take all these things that you know on guitar and incorporate your pentatonic things into the middle of your straight major things that we're using on our pedal steel guitar, if that makes any sense, and I hope this opens some doors for you. Let's look at straight major again. Again, we're only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because we're going to be using a pentatonic scale, right? Now let's look at G minor in position number 3, and it's going to start with string number 8, 7, move up a half step. Now 6 falls in line, but B doesn't. So string number 5 doesn't. We're going to need to lower it a half step. We could just leave the B lowered throughout this whole phrase. Now let's go 2 frets higher than our normal G position, which is 3, to position 5 and start with string number 9. This is the major counterpart. This is 9, 8, 7, slide up a half step, and strike 6, 7, slide back to 5, and 8 and 9. Now for a minor one here, I'm going to move backwards. I'm going to strike 9, 8, and then again lower my B's, and come back to here, 7, 6, 5 at 4, with the B's lowered. Now, 2 frets higher at position number 5, you can see the only difference in the major and minor is whether we slide the note on string 7 up a half step, or the note on string 8 up a half step. There's the minor third, there's the major third. Now that's the minor third slur over a major chord. It's still rather dissonant to this day. But the objective, and what the point I'm trying to get across to you, is that we can combine these and come up with a major contrast and a lot of color in our pedal steel guitar solos, and get away from the straight vanilla straight major, you know, no color. We want to add some chocolate to our vanilla ice cream, and maybe some sprinkles too. So with that in mind, I hope this opens some doors for you, my friends on the Steel Guitar Forum and here on YouTube. This is Mickey Adams in Dallas, and I look forward to seeing you right back here with your pedal steel guitar. So long.